Hey, fucking New Jersey. It's fucking Anthony Soprano. I gotta say, I had a great fucking time yesterday. Fucking Aries and Andy, they fucking came by my house. They saw my fucking place. They went to fucking Pizza Land and fucking Olsteins. Well, you don't really fucking know if I died or not. Fuck what Andy's talking about. You don't really fucking know. Anyway, welcome to the fucking podcast. Tony Soprano. Davey, you're doing a good job.
Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the fuck it is?
Aries and Andy, chewing the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut cocaine. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Fuck being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Subscribe, we lit.
There's levels to this shit. Before you was sucking on your mama's tit.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism,
Sexism.
Much love to my loyal bitch bag holders.
Rollers, clip loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, we in Jersey, baby. New Brunswick.
I'm telling you, he's not dead.
He's not?
No, we died. I don't care what anybody says. One bar. We'll be fine.
All right. We'll probably have to change it.
Yeah, for the next episode.
Right.
But he didn't. They say in the series when they take you out, you don't even know it. You don't see it. You don't hear it. We're the only ones that didn't see it or hear it.
Don't stop believing. Dude. First of all, yes, we went to Pizza Land.
And Holsteins.
Some of y'all might have saw the footage that I posted on Instagram where we went to Pizza Land. I gotta say, man, here in New Brunswick, this pizza place, Filippo's, has been here since I was a fucking kid. It's one of the few things that hasn't changed. Downtown New Brunswick, Church Street. And, listen, I was hoping the pizza at Pizza Land was going to be phenomenal. It wasn't. It was okay. It wasn't bad. But I told Andy,
careful, don't shit on Jersey.
No, I'm not shitting on Jersey. But Filippo's is better. I told you Filippo's is better. But for me, obviously, it was the wanting to see Pizza Land in person that was the biggest rush. And the pizza, however that tasted, was going to either just be a plus, but it was secondary.
I'm going to add some more controversy to our podcast. The reason, though, also that you don't like Pizza Land as much, and the reason it wasn't competitive to you between these two, is that Pizza Land they use a deep dish pan. They stretch
for a thin crust pizza,
and they stretch their dough all the way out, and that's why they put cheese all the way to the edge. So the crust has that like burnt cheesy at the end, but Aries doesn't eat crust.
I ate pretty much most of it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, but it just, I don't know. Filippo's has that straight New York, Jersey,
I'm not going to deny
East
it.
Coast.
That flop pizza.
Where you go, it's in the water. The dough, the crust, it's in the water. The breading, the yeast. So yeah, Filippo's is good. And then we went and saw the Sopranos house. Yo, man, that fucking area, the houses in that area are the fucking die for kid. No, I'm gonna keep it in New Jersey because we ain't talking about Boston. But the houses were fucking beautiful. And the Soprano house, it's surreal to see that shit in person because it's like, that's it. That's from the show. It's like looking at a celebrity. Like, that fucking house was like, oh, shit. So it was a rush, man. I got goosebumps.
It's actually really cool when you go over there because you see the drive that he made.
Right.
And then when he turns to go to the end of the I'm going to say this wrong. People always say cul-de-sac.
You said it right.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
When you turn, you see just what he saw when he pulls up.
Yeah.
And you don't see it until you make that full turn, just like in the show.
Right.
So it gives you a little bit of
You know
that.
how badly I wanted to walk up the driveway and actually be on the doorsteps.
You should have delivered something. We should have just brought a little package and you should have I got delivery.
Right. I wonder if anybody was even home. Because if I knew for certain nobody was home, I would have definitely had us go to the fucking front door and shoot some shit.
Okay, let me give you a little background info on this little thing right there. So when we get there, the dudes next door are getting their yard done. The house next door, and they're using the
leaf blower.
And Aries is having a fit because he wants to record.
Dude. and I said to my man, I said, hey, yo, my man, please half a second, please turn that shit off. So he turns it low, and then he said, I'm gonna turn it off. But then he turns it low, and so he's still doing it. And I said to the guy who looked like his boss, yo, my man, just for a second, he goes, he's going in the back of the house. So we wait, and of course, as he goes further and further towards the back.
But then he turns it on high again.
And so Andy was like, yo, just shoot. It's part of Jersey. Fuck that. I went in my pocket, pulled out money. It was like, yo, let me pay you, man, to shut that shit off. But we ended up shooting it. It was really low, but you still hear it. But I just wanted dead silence.
It sounds so good because it sounds like everything in Jersey that's going on.
But I wasn't wanting everything in Jersey.
Yeah,
I wanted the Sopranos.
And but it came out good. You know that video came out good.
Yeah, it came okay, but I wanted it the way I wanted it.
No.
Somebody
But you know what, before you go, I just got to say this. This is what we talked about. I said what people don't get, and this is that it's actually healthy to do this, but this is you. What Ari Spears wanted at that moment needed to come first. It didn't make a difference that wasn't his house. That wasn't his street. These guys were out there to do a job that they were getting paid for. And Ari's is like, fuck that. We need to do this video. We need to do it now. And that was the way it went down.
Somebody texted me on Instagram and was like, yo, because they saw the Pizza Land thing. And I said, yo, I'm on my way to the house. They said, dude, you should come down the driveway with a robe and a cigar. Dude, if I would have fucking got that text in time, I swear to God, we would have drove there that morning and I would have had on boxers, no shirt, a white robe, slippers, and a cigar. And I would have walked maybe enough up the driveway so you could see me walking down with just a robe, slippers, and a cigar.
You wouldn't need the paper because that's what Tony used to come out and grab. The newspaper, yeah.
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 Oh, I would have I so would have rode in your car the hour drive from Brunswick to there with a fucking robe on, dude.
It would have been cool, but I mean, I think it's turned out, and there's hopefully we get that other video. I shot this one thing. There's a little glitch in it that I don't like, but I shot where Aries is going to Holstein's and he's walking down the sidewalk, but I did it cool in slow motion. So I hope I sent it to Anthony.
Yeah, but it'd be great to have some music.
That's what I sent to Anthony. I said, "Can we get this music in there? Aries would like this." I already sent it to him.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, I got.
So you might follow up with him just because
right.
When I say it, I said it, but when you said it,
Yeah. Okay. Before we get into the nitty gritty of things, little couple comedy things coming up. I was telling Andy and somebody, hit me up on Instagram and said, I know you guys are going to talk about this. I saw before I came out to Jersey, HBO aired last night, Friday, and they're airing tonight, Saturday, a George Carlin documentary. So, of course, that's a homework assignment for both Andrew and I. We got to watch that and definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah, and and I love Carlin. I do.
Right.
But as he got older, and I've said this on the podcast before, especially in the early podcasts when we were talking a lot more about comics, some of it just seemed like he was above me, a little preachy, like talking down to me. That's the only thing
I was talking down?
A little bit, because he was so like preachy about how we were as people, and not down to me or down to really people, but kind of in an enlightened way that I wasn't enlightened enough for, and it's not. It's not enough. I would say,
and for me, enlightened but not entertained, because and I won't even say talking down because I never got the sense that he was talking down, but I do agree that at times it felt preachy, and I will say that this is where I've said, and we got to make the separation between white audiences and black audiences. When I say sometimes white people applaud effort. A lot of times he would go on these rants, and at the end of it, there's the simultaneous, thunderous, wah! And I go, well, was it funny? Or was it just a lot of points?
Well, if you listen to it the whole way, sometimes it was funny, but other times it wasn't. And a lot of people check out before you get to the funny. So I'm not denying his funniness at all. And
I'm not either.
And I think I still put him in, the top 10, probably 5 comics. But and talking about comics, in recent years, we're doing specials, and I feel like some of these specials are premature that they're doing every year. He put out a special almost every year, way before people were doing this.
Oh, he's the king of. I forget how many he has, but it's like
the
untouched.
most ever by HBO. Right. One of the greatest comics of all time. Just, sometimes people really tickle you, and towards the end, I wasn't tickled the same way. I'm not saying it wasn't good. I want to see this documentary because there's a lot to Carlin too. So I'm excited to see it.
You know, it's almost thought of as comedic blasphemy for someone, especially if you're a comic. If you're somebody that's not a comic and you're just a fan of comedy and you're just someone who sits in an audience, it's subjective. So your opinion can be very valid in terms of how you feel. And as much as some people might go, you're crazy, you don't like a Dave Chappelle or a George Carlin or a whoever. Hey, if you're not a comedian, you have that right. But if you're a comedian, it's almost blasphemous in the comedy world to go, how can you not? And I say that to say, and this might ruffle your feathers a little bit, but you know, Neri, he tells it, oh, Richard Pryor is overrated. Because Earthquake was recently on Shannon Sharp's podcast, the Shay Shay Club, and he was asked Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor. And in a nutshell, Earthquake said, as far as jokes, as far as comedy, it's almost sacrilegious to not say Richard Pryor. But he preferred Eddie Murphy in terms of the better career, the movies. He preferred Eddie's funny over Pryor's funny. And Neri sent me that clip and then wrote, yup, because he's always said to me, he thought Pryor was overrated. And the way you almost described Carlin as being preachy, he didn't use the word preachy, but he just felt that his material was so dated and wasn't that funny, maybe funny for the time, but just wasn't that strong to him.
Well, you know, that's kind of, this is what happens this is what happens when you don't appreciate history and the people that came before you, well before you. Because when you say it's dated, yeah, it's dated. And yeah, you have to go back and appreciate it for what it is. But let me ask you this question, and this is what becomes important. Do you get Eddie Murphy without Richard Pryor?
No.
Okay. So,
but you don't get Richard Pryor without the guys before him.
I understand that. But Richard Pryor, to me, was the one who was able to take everything that came before him, and put it into an act that was, at that time, extremely funny. And if you take certain pieces of it, Pryor is still relevant today. Not everything is going to translate to today. This was a long time ago, these specials came out.
The 70s.
But some of that shit is still relevant today, but you got to break it apart.
Here's why Richard is the king to me. Not only did he do what you said and take some things and do X, Y, and Z with it, but listen, Richard came along at a time when race in America was, I mean, it's always been hot, but it was really hot in the 70s. And he wrote the blueprint on racial material because he was right in the thick of it. And to this day, while yes, all black comics do racial material, because again, this is the skin we live in and we're reporters and this is what happens around us. But Richard really was the first dude who took race and put it front and center racially. And we all kind of took from his book. So just that alone to me.
Yeah, but there's something in there that's so important to what he did.
Right.
He also, and this should be remembered today because I talk about this a little bit because you like to do it too. You could say white people.
Right.
Richard broke down white people. And then that's how you got the Italian voice. That's how you got the white guy voice, the white woman voice.
Right.
Who was breaking down white people like that before Richard Pryor?
Right.
And that gave a new voice in how to do comedy and how white people had to look at themselves and how black folks looked at white people. And that was different at that time. Nobody was doing that. And that, to me, when you have all this material out there and someone could take something so subtle that's right there in front of everybody's face, that's the genius of comedy. When you're looking at something that everybody else has seen 100 million times,
right,
and you found something funny in it.
Listen, one of the funniest jokes ever was when Richard said, and while you might say it's dated, it still is up to date. Police don't kill cars. They kill niggars. That's one of the greatest fucking line/jokes, and that's still prevalent today.
And I'm just going to throw this out there too. Richard Pryor wasn't just jokes. He was a little bit of storytelling, well ahead of his time.
Right.
And so storytelling is a hard thing to do to get people to keep their attention with you from the beginning to the end because you're not giving them joke after joke after joke. You're actually, they have to hang on to what you're saying, not necessarily just jokes. I'm telling you, he's so far ahead, and yes, it is dated, but that's the time and that place that he came from. So Moms isn't funny? That's dated as fuck. Moms is funny.
Right.
So
listen, and I love Neri, and I think Neri sometimes listens to the podcast. But and I've said this to Neri, and I'll say it right now again. Part of what bothers me about Neri, and listen, we all have a quiet or loud confidence, and I think he has a quiet cockiness to him. I have a loud cockiness to me, and the fact that Neri said, I said to Neri, "Yo, you don't get nervous before shows?" Nope. Anybody that goes, "I don't get nervous," okay, fine. But I almost look down on that because that's an arrogance. And I've said this to Neri in argument and in frustration. I'm a better comic than Neri. I'm stronger than Neri, flat out. There's levels to this shit. I'm better than Neri, and I get nervous. And Neri sometimes walks around with this bravado like he's a bad motherfucker on the mic, and Neri's hilarious. But I'm just like, nigga, take a little nervousness and be better.
I don't think nervous is the right. I think butterflies because I feel something. If you don't feel something before you go up on stage, are you excited to be there? That excitement, that nervous energy, those butterflies, that's what I feel every time I'm about ready to do a show.
Right.
And if you don't get that, are you excited to be there? I'm still excited every time I go on stage. I'm still ready to go and hope, that's the other thing though. I know the material's good. I've worked the material. I know it works. Am I going to have a good show? Are they going to go with me?
Right.
Am I going to be on point? If you don't have that, then I don't know.
And then when it clicks, that butterfly, that nervousness, I always say it's like basketball. You drop your first jump shot and you go, all right, my rhythm is there. I got the fucking flick of the wrist. I got the gooseneck, everything. You feel good. And once it starts feeling good, you don't want it to stop. That's why at times when I do a show and I know I got the light and I'm about to wrap it up, but I'm killing it, I go, one more joke. I want one more, because it feels so fucking good. So, I think that Pryor thing is that's crazy to me.
But in that whole thing, there's one thing that I didn't say that I think is the most important. Out of that whole group that we were just talking about, Earthquake speaking on Eddie, Earthquake is the most underrated in that group.
Yo, dude, listen. I forget one of his specials I saw on YouTube, and Earthquake can do this. Very few comics can do this. From the time Earthquake says hello to good night, nothing but haymakers. Nothing but fucking haymakers. Earthquake is a beast, man.
I'm telling you, I've worked with you a long time, so I've gotten good information from you. I've worked with Earthquake one weekend. Probably gave me all the best advice I've had in comedy came from that weekend with Earthquake in that short period of time. And he knew it. It didn't make a difference. It wasn't about anything else than he figured me out as a comic and gave me advice that doesn't have anything to do with his comedy, just about me. I'm telling you, I love Earthquake. Dude's a genius. And I'm glad that Chappelle picked him up to do one of his things.
Yeah, well, Chappelle said in the intro, he's like, there's a reason why he's called Earthquake.
Yeah. Dude,
real quick, before we get into this, dude, I saw some shit on my phone today, and it's going to kill me because I cannot remember the name, but it's this movie coming out about a true story about 4 black guys in Brooklyn or the Bronx, I think it was Brooklyn, who went into a sports store and took hostages. And the police by the thousands were outside, and it was about the first real hostage negotiator. And this dude was able to negotiate these 4 brothers to safety when the whole the force wanted to kill these niggas because it ended up being a little bit of a shootout. And one of the black guys being interviewed was like, yo, man, we were in a gun store with nothing but ammunition and guns. So we was going out in a blaze of glory. And they ended up killing a couple cops. So, of course,
Yeah.
A hailstorm of fucking bullets was shot into the place, and the negotiator was like, there is a way to do things where it doesn't have to end with people dying. And then, of course, one of the New York cops was like, that's a big fucking deal and balls of steel to ask us to change a culture. And what he was trying to say without saying it was, motherfuckers take one of our own, we kill you. And on top of that, 4 niggas, they were supposed to die. But this hostage negotiator got him out and alive. I forget what this fucking thing is called. I want to say it's called Let's Talk, but it's not. But I want to see this motherfucker so bad. It looks great.
What's the first thing you said though? That how'd you say this? I don't want to repeat it. I want you to say it. If they take
one of ours, you got to die.
Just stop right there. What mentality is that? What mentality is it?
A gang mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But that's why he was saying the nerve of this negotiator to change a culture.
But okay, a culture. So what kind of culture is it?
It's gang culture. Yeah.
It's the blue gang.
The blue. Okay. And then 4 niggas.
Not to be misconstrued with the Crips.
Right.
I'm just saying it's the blue gang.
Yeah.
Blue gang with the badge gang.
Yeah.
Again, listen, man.
But let's not ignore this. If it was 4 white guys and they killed a cop, they're going to kill him.
Yeah.
There's 4 niggas.
Okay.
So they really want to kill him.
They're going to shoot him twice, each one.
There you go.
But they're
8 niggas.
But I'm just saying that's the rules. That is the rule. If you take out one of them, that's the rules. And listen, I live in this world, so I'm not trying to stir up my own problems here. I think it's the mentality though. And we all have a little bit of this gang culture in us when we say, someone took out someone in your family, what's your first instinct?
To want to take them out.
It's what we do. I'm not saying to be good about it.
Yeah,
it's our mental.
I know, but we know with them, it's...
But they have the full force of the government and everything behind them. And so out of anybody who you don't want to have that,
I wish I could fucking
would be them. Anyway, I got a couple things for you though, real quick, if you want them. Are you ready for them?
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a big shout out to Norm Macdonald, the fucking genius of all geniuses, to release a special. See, he's basically like the Tupac and the Biggie right now. He's releasing specials after he's already gone.
Yeah. Bitch, I wish I could do it on me.
I can't do one either. But I was gonna die, and so I recorded. Recorded it. He recorded a material because he knew he was at that area, and they're going to release it on Netflix May 30th.
Okay.
So there's a new hour coming out from Norm Macdonald.
If it was a documentary, I would watch it because it's comedy and it's a documentary, and I like documentaries. I don't know that I watched the special.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
I was never comedically a Norm Macdonald fan.
You know what's a really shitty thing to say about it's not shitty, it's a really good thing to say about comedy. But it's not about the specials to me. The fortunate part for me is I got to do this. And being around comedians, being a comic, being in the green room, being at the clubs watching the show, there's nothing like this live shit. I don't care what comic you are. If someone is getting to do an hour regularly on a circuit of comedy clubs, there's something worth seeing. I know you might not agree with that 100%, but I like watching these people for even if it's 1 or 2 jokes that I really like, but it is fucking great watching live comedy. I mean, yes, get it on wherever you get it, but if you can see it live, and obviously you're not going to see Norm's live anymore. It'd be great if you walked up and you stepped on his grave and there's a speaker on the headstone and just
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. And say, hey, watch it there.
It'd be great. Like any entertainer that you like, you could push a button or step on something, and it gives you a sample of what they were about.
That's what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you could do that with regular people too. You could step on Ronald Williams' grave, and you go, "I beat that bitch and gave her 2 black eyes."
Do we have an email for him this next
No.
week? No, fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and this is the last one. This is just for you. I want to show you something that's coming out that I thought you'd be interested in because I can't believe they passed on your girl. That's coming out. She-Hulk, attorney at law.
I saw the preview for that.
I hope Gemma gets at least like a little what's it called? A guest star role.
Yeah.
She gets to attack the She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Like the other She-Hulk.
There you go.
You saw that this is coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I stopped. I said, I got to show that to Aries. She-Hulk. And Gemma didn't get it. I don't understand how, because Gemma looks like she got hit by a lot of gamma radiation. So,
dude, I did Vlad TV, a run of Vlad TV interviews.
Yeah.
And I talked about the Gerard Carmichael special.
Did he ask you about it, or did it come up with your conversation?
No, he asked me about it. It disappoints me how stupid, how there's just so many fucked up people. You know, a lot of people were like, he's not funny. He never was funny. I don't get it. And again, it's all under the umbrella of subjective. So yes, you have the right to feel how you feel. I would be contradicting myself after what I just said about Carlin and Pryor, and then cut to this. But you're an idiot. Like you're an idiot if you really think Carmichael stinks. Like, he's so smart and he's so fucking, witty and his joke, and he's funny. And a couple people were like, yo, that was a great analogy when you were like, Dave Chappelle is Miles Davis, he's John Coltrane. They're jazz, man. And as I said to you, yeah, Dave is, to me, higher than Carmichael, a little bit more, pop, 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 pop. But nonetheless, man, Carmichael's silky, man.
I love the special. I've always thought he was funny. Yeah, I just don't, there's a particular style for all kinds of people. That's all there is to it. That's why you could have a pizza place. You can have five on one street, and they'll all do business because everybody has their own taste. But it's all pizza.
Yeah.
This is all comedy. If you don't like it, that's fine, but it's just not funny to you. And that's the one part in there that is subjective, but it's not funny to you.
Yeah.
No one's getting multi-million-dollar specials and getting TV shows and touring the country because they're not funny. So you don't find them funny. And if you look around and see the people that find someone funny, and maybe look at yourself and figure out, and then look at the group of the people that you find funny, and maybe look at that. Maybe you should up your group.
All right, let's get into it.
Which one are you starting with?
Shit. Fuck. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Problem.
I gotta.
Tyson did that interview, and he was talking about the time
I gotta
his
prove
daughter died in the accident. And at one point, the dude asked him about his daughter, and Mike tried to talk about
These
it.
people get to see all the behind the scenes.
I gotta prove this fucking
And then he pauses.
Vlad TV clip that I'm about to put on my Instagram.
Dude, he goes,
We'll be right.
you gotta
Hold
go.
on.
You understand that, right?
I just gotta see.
You gotta go.
So that's what I'm saying is, if you watch this, if you listen to it on Spotify or Beanpod or any of the other streaming platforms, you wouldn't have to put up with any of this stuff.
Here's the section where a lot of you fucking cornball ass motherfuckers.
But you do get the preview about what he's gonna have on.
5150 show. Yeah. He done beat your ass like Zoe Williams beat your ass. 5150 gang. You niggas dick ride so hard for Corey. It's unfucking believable. Y'all got Corey jizz all on your face. 5150 gang. Gooey raccoon. Fuck out of here, you double-fisted fucking cowards.
All right, cool.
I love this because what happened right now, and you're not going to hear this because I put it on pause, so you won't hear this on the podcast, but you'll hear it on this YouTube. Aries is going to watch that over and over again because he's going to get to see Aries watching Aries while Aries watches Aries watching Aries. It's going to blow his mind. It's going to be the most excited he's ever been that he gets to watch himself twice.
Yes.
Back, Steve. Oh, dude, we're not
Just a bit outside.
We're not even in the
Cleveland.
emails yet. Not even in the emails yet.
I know, dude. I'm sorry.
Damn,
I'm sorry.
Hope this doesn't fucking smell.
Oh no, this one was good. This was a dry rub. All right.
I can't even lean that far over. I'm in dangerous territory.
Somebody, I think it was my boy Justin Rivera. Hey, papi, told us to watch this Netflix documentary called "The Father or Our Father."
think
It's called The Father. Well, anyway,
I think it's Our Father.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Our Father.
You keep it.
It's basically about this is he a OBGYN? He's a pussy doctor.
Yeah. I think he's no, he's he I forgot what he's called. They're the ones with people who can't get pregnant.
Artificial insemination. Out of Indianapolis, Indiana, somewhere. I think something like that. And basically, this motherfucker was jacking off into a cup and then putting it into whatever he uses to inject women with his semen without their consent, and had basically fathered like an African village, enough kids to make an African village.
If an African village was all white and blue-eyed.
Well, okay, he fathered enough kids to form Utah. And unbeknownst to, again, the women and their husbands, thinking that it was the husband's semen that was being injected into these women.
Or a pick from
another.
He had a list of medical professionals that they could use up to 3 times.
Yes. But he didn't do any of that. It was all his cum. So we watched it. And I got to say my first note off the top, and I probably felt like I shouldn't have been laughing at this, but the way they show the opening title, where you see this nigga sitting in his chair from the back, and he's doing the body motions as he's beating off. And then he comes and he falls back into his seat where his head hits the back of the seat as though to go, after he nuts. And then the title just appears over his head, The Father. Dude, I fucking died. Like, just like, I'm going, this is some serious shit. Foul, fucked up shit. But the way they had this nigga beaten off, and you knew he came because he just laid back and it was The Father. It felt like a comedy. But it wasn't. It was very serious.
It was very animal-like, the way that they had him making those sounds.
Right.
And it was a bit much for me. I didn't write a note on it because it just grossed me out. Is actually what it did. But that's exactly how it starts off.
And then I wrote, look, man, this is where we badly need a producer or a research person. And it's a very important part, Eddie. I need you to be here.
Okay, I'm just trying to get that name. But still, yeah. I'm still keep going.
It's called The Father.
I'm sure it is The Father. I'm just go ahead.
In fact, I have it on my iPad. I bet you I beat you to this shit. Wait.
Our Father.
Oh shit! The white man. White man was faster than a fucking black guy. Look at that. What are you, a white Kenyan? But this is where I really want to know the statistics on this. And to, again, forgive me, white fans. And me and Andy were kind of going at this the other day, but I would really want to know the statistics on this, on white versus black, when it comes to doing sick, foul shit. Because I know niggas do foul shit too, but doesn't it always seem like shit like this falls in the lap of white folks, particularly white men? Are there black doctors who are injecting bitches with their own semen? I guess, but I've never heard of it.
Well, I don't know. They said apparently they're at the end. They talk about how many other doctors have been caught.
Yes, it was like 40-something%.
No, not percent. There's only I don't remember what the numbers were.
Oh, it was like 40. I know it was like 40-something.
But it is 47 doctors. That's still a lot because it's not.
But how many of them were black?
I don't know.
I would love to know this because, again, I'm not saying black people don't do foul shit. But I remember, I forget who's, I think Bill Burr, somebody did a joke where they talked about name the race based on the crime. And I'm telling you, niggas do shit like kill old women over 57 cents. That's the type of shit we do. We don't nut in cups and falsely inject bitches. Like, it just seems like when it comes to wild, barbaric shit, wild, fucked up, foul shit, we all got the market cornered.
Let me just ask you, though. Let's say a black dude decided to do this, and so these white women are coming in. And all of a sudden, there's there's like 13 black babies. You don't think they get caught a lot sooner than this dude?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. My baby's supposed to be white, but got J.J. Evans lips.
I think white. I'm going to say it like this: in North America and in the European areas, Europe, there's enough white folks. The majority of white folks have had plenty of time in the golden age, especially men that have been able to run rampant since whatever you pick the year. You can go back a few hundred if you want. Have had plenty of time to come up with the most foul shit that they can come up with without getting in trouble for it. So yeah, I would agree with you that I think that may be a trait that
It has to, because dude, like they say, the profile of a serial killer almost 100% of the time is a white man.
that's changing though a little bit. And but why is it changing? Is it because there's a lot of reasons why it's changing? But I'm not going to jump into that one feet first without a bunch of information here.
Okay. Yeah,
It's changing because I think a lot of it could. I think a good part of it could be because it's enough.
Or this is truly how fucked up and how deep racism runs. If there are black guys that are doing it, and we just not hearing about it because we just don't get the news coverage. We don't get the same news coverage. So even in being horrible, white people are better than us.
You go with this.
No, but you know what I mean? Like we don't get, and then even that's fucked up because it's like, okay, you would think that if niggas is doing foul shit like that on the lowest of levels, they'd want to expose us just to go see how them niggas are. They're horrible. They're heathens. They're savages. See? But so either we're not doing it or we're doing it and it's not being covered.
Yeah,
Either way, it's fucked up.
We want to cover. We want to be able to hold on to some market.
Okay.
We're trying to corner a market. You
Right.
know, it's foul shit.
That white man won't let niggas have credit for anything.
The foul shit market.
Even when niggas are dirty, the white man wants to be the dirtiest of the dirtiest. We can't even be dirty and be in first. We have to be dirty and be in last. That white man is cold, goddammit.
They were going to open up a market called Foul Shit Market.
Right.
And it was just going to be all stuff for white dudes. But then they found out that they have to hire a certain amount of black dudes.
And they said
Fuck it. We're not opening up the store.
Yeah.
We'll let you niggas take over anything else. We're going to be the number one killers and heinous barbarians in the world.
So what's the difference between, and this is where obviously I have no medical knowledge, but when a woman has a problem getting pregnant, what's the difference between a man injecting a woman with his sperm versus her being injected medically? Why is one pregnancy as successful over the other?
There are all different ways of doing this. They can actually take her egg and they can take the dude sperm and they can do it in a petri dish and they can get it going. And then they actually get the egg fertilized and then they reinsert the egg back into the woman if she can handle a pregnancy. You can also get someone to do that for you if she can't handle the pregnancy, but she has eggs and he has sperm. They can still, and then you have someone else that handles the pregnancy part for you. But it's your kid. She just housed it. But that's not what he was doing. Here's the other things that was going on. Some of them were the men. They didn't have good swimmers, but they had sperm. Or she might have been, it was hard for her to get pregnant. So they take it and they inject it and then they help it along so that she can get pregnant. If the guy has bad swimmers, but the sperm is viable, they can actually introduce that close to the egg and get that to fertilize. Or is that making sense? So you don't actually have to have the best sperm, but a doctor like that can help you and your wife or girlfriend or whatever it is get pregnant. And a lot of these people were coming in thinking that they were using the husband's sperm or the partner's sperm, and he just went into the back and just drew his own.
To protect your woman, and I'm sure there's some medical reasoning that they probably would tell you couldn't, but to protect your woman in a circumstance like this, don't you think that there should either be a law or an automatic, like, because that's my wife, or girlfriend that you as a man have to watch the whole process? Like he obviously was beaten off in secrecy in his office, and then would put it in whatever cup and then walk into the room where she's laying there with her legs in the stirrups and say, hey, I got the semen that you think you're supposed to have, not knowing that it's my semen. Not that you could, but after seeing this, I would be like, hey, doc, I need to go in the room with you while you get this proper semen. Like to make sure he ain't beaten off, and I need to be in there when you inject it in my woman. Like, have her as a measure of protection. You got to go through all the steps with him.
You want to see farm to table?
Yes.
Okay, but see, this is they kind of addressed it a little bit. It's such a casual process, especially when it started off. I don't know where it is today, but he was one of the leaders in this. So this is guys making up the rules, part of helping create this whole industry. You saw the nurse who had to go get semen from one of the medical interns or the medical another doctor that they had. Right. And remember, she said, well, you got to keep it warm. That's how you keep it sustainable.
And she had it in between her chest.
Yeah, I put it in my bra to keep so it stays warm. And she just walked it across the street. I know that's another thing. Let's put this on the table for white people too. She put the sperm sample in her fucking bra and walked.
Well, why couldn't he just nut in her chest and have her close her titties tight and keep it warm? And then when she walk in to the place, she just take her two fingers and go what and put it where it needs to be.
Well, because the doctor, wants to test a charge, so he would have to lick it off of her titties and then spit it into the other.
Woo! Welcome to the show, boys and girls. That was a whole porno scene. I'm gonna shoot my semen in between her chest. She's going to squeeze her titties close to keep it warm. Then when we get to the operating table or to the lab or to whatever the next room is where the woman who's going to be injected is laying there, he sops it up and then spits it in the other woman's canal. Wow.
Well, see, and this is where we are with everything right now. There isn't rules for technology until the technology is created. And even when it's created, there's no rules yet. You have to have situations that present themselves so that you can manufacture these rules and laws. No one makes a law because...
Yes, doctor. Yeah, I'm here to perform your vitro spitalization.
No one makes laws for problems that don't exist.
Right.
Laws and things and these protocols come into you. Protocols should come in because you want to do a good job and you're listing the way that these things should happen because you foresee problems. Laws are created because the problems exist and they need to stop them. And that's where this falls in between.
If it was your girl that needed a vitro fertilization, is it?
In vitro
fertilization. To protect her or make her feel safe, even if she asked you and said, Andy, could you? Would you do whatever's necessary to make sure everything's on up and up?
No, I don't want any more kids, so no. I would say that.
No, but let's just say you did, though.
I wanted a kid?
Yeah.
And I would do everything that's on. Well, before I saw that, no. I would just assume that my doctor,
right,
was busy being a doctor and didn't have enough time to go fucking, jerk it off before it was time to go throw it in her.
After seeing this, though.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, now what if the doctor said, okay, obviously it's going to be your semen. You can beat in the cup, but because I'm the doctor, I have to watch you beat into the cup and then walk it over to inject your girl. Like the doctor has to watch you beat off and shoot in the cup.
The doctor has to watch me?
Yes.
In front of me, or is it behind a screen or what?
He's right there watching you.
Then I better have some other people in the room besides the doctor. We're gonna have to have enough people in the room that I forget that he's part of the scenario.
Listen, it wouldn't bother me that the doctor's watching me. What would bother me is his breathing pattern. As long as while I'm beating off, he's not going.
What about direct eye contact?
Okay, but no breathing. Like you can look directly in my eyes, but you can't be going. Nah, that means you're excited.
Yeah.
So is what the doctor. So what Dr. Klein did. It's considered unethical, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's no law on it. That's why it's considered unethical.
Okay, because I was going to say, and I mean, this kind of answers itself, and it's a little stupid on my part, but I was like, Because I don't see where it matters if the donor is the doctor or someone anonymous. At the end of the day, if the mother is just looking for a spool lender, not a father figure for the kids, what difference does it
A
make?
spool lender? Is that like a Highlander? There can only be one?
Yeah.
See, in this case, take Highlander. There can only be one.
Yeah.
In this case, there was two. There was the one she thought it was, and then the one it
Right,
was.
right.
That's the problem. You
Okay.
got to use the Highlander effect. There can only be one.
Okay.
I see. I have a problem with it because, well, several things. And
Like before, hold that point.
go ahead.
Like when the girl, because some of the women wanted to get pregnant and they didn't have men in their lives. And then there were some who wanted to get pregnant by the men in their lives. So when the kids found out that the doctor was their father as opposed to the biological, that I can completely understand.
Yeah.
Because now you're thinking, my dad is my dad when he isn't. But if you're a woman who doesn't have a significant other and your goal is just to get pregnant, then, if you ain't looking for your daughter to have a father figure, why does it matter?
Well,
I mean, it's about their consent,
right.
Well,
This is that's the problem about part of it is the consent. But see, the consent isn't. There was no consent over what sperm was picked. The consent was over whether or not you could do this procedure.
Right.
The consent. The reason it's not a crime is because the consent doesn't go all the way to which sperm it was. Because you're picking out of a catalog, it's random, and they have these catalogs. Here's a few things that have changed. I know have changed. When you pick out of the catalog now, you find out different traits, like health traits. You need to know their health, and you got to be approved for it to even be in this category because you can't have these health problems. That's one of the big problems that everybody's mad at because now they have these health problems, and they're finding that most of these kids have these health problems, and it's all because of the father. And that wasn't the sperm they picked. They should have picked someone healthier.
Right.
That's part of it. Plus, you learn about people and who they are. So they might have talents like you. And this sounds so futuristic, but you may want someone. You might appreciate music, so you want someone who has a father. That the sperm is coming from someone who's musical, that has plays in a symphony or is a master at a certain. Instrument, not like the doctor who had mastered his instrument. I'm talking about mastering a musical instrument.
Right.
So you might want something like that, or someone if you're an equestrian. Ooh, I used a big word, equestrian.
Oh.
You might want someone who also was.
What was the word you used?
Equestrian.
Oh, I thought you would have deleted it.
Yeah. No, it's still there. But you may want that, so you have those things that you can pick from. So even now, it would be a bigger deal than it was then.
Ordering comes with a menu now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so you're paying extra, I guess, for these things because they're all sorted out, and that's what you're getting for. So this though was basically come as you are, and you got you picked like the doc. I guess you had a little bit of background on the sperm, and that's what you're picking. So, but these kids who were upset about it, I get that they're upset, and I would be upset about it too. But you are the person this is where it gets really complicated. You are the person that's upset. You are mad at this person, but you are this person only because that person. You would be a completely different person if you would have got the sperm that your mom was looking for, but you are who you are because that's the sperm that you came from. I don't know how you can differentiate. You don't exist, basically. Someone else exists. You don't exist.
Right.
So all these people that are, and I'm not saying they don't have a right to complain or be angry or be upset about this, but you don't exist. It's not like you change half of your DNA and then you're here and you're just a better person. You don't exist. So I don't know. You have to almost buy into the fact, well, that this is my father that raised me. This is who I genetically am, but I am this person's daughter or son because they raised me, and I always believed this, but genetically I have these traits, and I'm not here. I don't exist without that.
Right.
I don't know how you can look. I mean, that's the logical way to look at it. That's the only logical way to look at it. But I understand the emotional side where you feel like you were shortchanged the relationship with the other person that you should have been genetically part of. I get that too, but you don't exist without it. So I don't know how to. I don't know how to fix that in my head.
And it said at the end of this, he probably fathered 90-something kids.
Or could be more.
Could be more. you really have to have a godlike complex
Oh yeah.
to do this, and don't think at any point you're gonna get caught.
Well, even worse than getting caught, and you're doing it in a small. They talked about the size of the town, right? So, and they talk about this in the doc I mentioned. It's not. Is it not? It is kind of.
It's a documentary. Yeah.
What if two people, not knowing any of this, they fall in love and they're actually brother and
Right.
sister? That's, to me, that's the creepier part. Because now you're a science project.
Dude, I didn't know. Speaking of which, I was looking at something online. Did you know that the Kevin Bacon's wife, who he's been married to forever, is his cousin?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's his fucking cousin. I saw something on Facebook about it was
First cousin or like cousins? I mean, after.
I think second maybe, but they were saying something about it was basically about Kevin Bacon, his history in Hollywood, and why he retired from the business, kind of, sort of, and how he, blah 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 blah. Kevin Bacon info, and one of the things that he thought was going to ruin him in Hollywood was when they found out he married his cousin, but it didn't.
Because that's less than 1 degree of separation. That's a whole new game.
Yeah. But as far as look, there's certain parts of this country where, relatives get married. It
didn't start here.
Yeah.
You can go to London or you go to England.
That nigga raped me, daddy. Them type of motherfuckers do that.
Well, when you had a monarchy, and I used England is because it was just an easy one, but when you have a monarchy, they're not allowed to marry, commoners. So
Right.
you got to keep that blood close and tight. And that's how you get bad teeth.
Something that I thought was fucked up and was also interesting was, and clearly, the justice system, it really is amazing that we have advanced this far as a species, and the justice system is still so fucked up because they really wanted him to go to jail because they felt that the non-consent of these women was bordering rape. And I remember the lawyer said something where the one girl who spearheaded this whole thing, who started this movement, one of the very first, I think it was the first sibling ever. She said to the lawyer, so non-consensual injection of semen was not considered battery. But she said, if I were to spit in your face, physically, I could be arrested because that's considered battery. Do you agree with that assessment?
It's okay. Here it is. And this is where it's not about whether I agree with it or not. It's about understanding the law and how the law works. So, like you just said, is it?
You already sound like the people that most people hate.
That's fine.
Because the technicality of
No,
you're right. But what you're saying pisses people off because they go,
okay,
that's fucked up, and you're hiding behind a law.
I'm going to give you the example, though. You just said something that's important, and this is why laws have to be created and don't get created until there is a problem. You just said that spitting on someone that's
battery.
Okay, so if and you yourself said you like to be spit, you would take spit on during sex, right?
Absolutely.
So here's the question:
Piss and spit.
This girl's about ready to fuck you, right?
Yes.
And Gemma's about ready to fuck you.
Yes.
You don't know that I know Gemma. I spit in Gemma's mouth. Gemma starts to fuck you, and she said, and you go ahead and spit on me, and she spits what I spit into her mouth on you.
Well, wait a minute. How would I not know that you spat in her mouth?
Because I didn't tell you. You didn't find out. You didn't know. Like
when did you spit in her mouth? And where was I?
Just before she came into the room.
I'm in the bed. She's about to knock on my door. You hot tui in her mouth.
Yep.
She holds that
and spits on you. You consented to be spit on.
But I didn't consent to have your spit.
You did not. But you consented. The action is what is being is the action of being spit on. That's the act. That's why it wouldn't be battery, because you consented to that.
But I didn't consent to your spit.
But you consented that she could spit on you. You didn't say whether or not it had to be her spit. I'm not disagreeing with you, and especially in this situation. Yes, it is wrong. It is wrong.
I would still fuck her, but then kill you.
But see, and going back to what you said, which I do think that's pretty fucking funny. But what, again, the laws are created once it's needed. And to get a prosecutor to do this, that's where it becomes a problem, because prosecutors are people and they want people that have to get numbers, and they're not going to just make a case so they can lose it, but you have to have the case so you can make the law. This is where the law is fucked up. She consented to have insemination. That should be, and it should be worded. I guess you could word it in the contract when you went into the sperm that I provided. Then it would definitely be, then it would be breaking that contract. I still don't know if it would be a crime or they would be in breach of the contract. I'm not trying to define law. I'm just saying that's what the situation was.
Right.
And I'm not agreeing with the situation. And you could say to me, yeah, I'm hiding behind something. I'm not hiding behind. That's the law.
But the technicalities of a law let the just go unjust.
Sometimes those technicalities is all that makes the law work. This is, you can't.
That's fucked up.
But you can't. When you go buy fruit, better yet, when a plant grows fruit, you don't know which one is going to be the best fruit. You don't know which one tastes the best. You don't know. You take what it gives you. And so what I mean by this is, with the law, you make the law the best you can, and then you have to take from that and apply it the best way that you can. You don't know everything that's going to happen after that law is created. It isn't made to fix everything. And then when that happens, you have to go at it again. I'm not not agreeing with it. That's just the way it is.
Last thing, what I thought was really sick, almost on some Trump shit, was that, he was the gynecologist, and he would perform pap smears and breast exams that they said at one point on one of his own daughters.
Now that's just creepy. But two things though: is it creepy, or is he just putting out his sperm? And I swear and I don't mean to be dismissive of this situation. Is he putting out his sperm like a puppy mill and doesn't even recognize those as his kids?
Okay. If he doesn't know, you don't know.
No, but I mean, he would know because he would perform the thing. But does he even look at them and go, "That's my kid"?
Oh, right.
Or is he just putting them out?
Clearly not.
He's just putting them out. If he was like a puppy mill. These are my puppies. I'm just putting them out.
And again, to some degree, he tried to tie it to religion, as though I'm doing God's work. Because remember how he had all those things hanging up in his office, and I think the one Bible quote was 1:15.
Well,
I knew you before you were in the womb.
The thing is, if you can use God to justify anything you want.
That's why that shit is dangerous. That's why that shit is dangerous. That's it, man. That's all I got.
Did you like this? Did you like this though? The doc. Did you get informed?
Listen, it was compelling. It was one. It was a popcorn finger licker. Yeah. It had me.
See, it didn't do anything for me because, again, and going back to what I just said about the law, as soon as I got the story and the outline,
right,
I was like, you could have done this story in 20 minutes. You could have done this doc as a quick doc.
But could you have really?
Yeah, because what they did in this doc is they try to get you emotionally connected to these people so you could be angry about the situation. But I was angry already.
But even if I wasn't emotionally connected, because I don't know these people, what he did was so heinous.
Yeah. But I was
I was going to be angry regardless.
I was mad at him within the first 20 minutes. I didn't need the whole story to get the story.
Right.
Sometimes, that's like you get mad at me sometimes making a joke too long. I don't need to tell my whole story to get to the punchline.
Right.
The punchline had already been set and delivered, and then they gave me another 40 minutes of movie that I didn't need.
Here's what's crazy. Before I announce the music guest and you give out these
dates,
I just opened up my email, and there's this one by a guy named Wayne DeShaw, and he says, "Ronald is the hero we need but don't deserve." This motherfucker has a fan club.
There you go.
It's official. Oh, God. All right.
Well, someone has to, go to jail for 3 years so that we can so that people be worried.
And he says, I can see real quick, it says,
go ahead.
He's from UK. He's from the UK. Oh, yeah, bloke. I believe every now and then you got the muff in your lady's face. Incidentally, I was watching this movie on the plane called The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey.
It's a good movie.
It's a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I'm halfway through it. England is tough, guys. It's just hilarious. Hello. There was one part where what's my man's name played the Penguin in the Batman movie.
In this recent Batman,
The one with Pattinson.
Oh yeah, Colin Farrell.
Carlin Farrell. He's in The Gentleman.
I did that on my own, you guys. I remember the name all by myself.
He absolutely did. He's in the burger place, and the 5 young thugs are getting ready to fuck him up. And they kept going, yeah, wet him up. Wet him up. English, man. Y'all motherfuckers, man. Stop. You're laughable when you get tough. Your words, they sound ridiculous. Hello. Hey, wet him up. Wanker. Hey, you bloke. You sound ridiculous.
You know what's funny about that, though?
Yeah.
See, that's your opinion. Out there, that's toughness.
Normal.
But the thing is, if one of those dudes really was to fucking come out and beat your ass,
right?
Fucking give you a few, and then
the business,
you would be getting your ass beat, just laughing at the whole time. Like, I'm getting my ass beat by this.
Yeah, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hello. Somebody goes, hello.
I think it's much cooler to get beat up with an accent, with an accent like that.
God, it's ridiculous.
Do we need to give out dates?
Yes.
All right. So, guys, you're listening to this if you're listening to this on Wednesday, the 25th, we are going to be at Helium the following day, May 26th through the 29th. Helium, Philly. Very much looking forward to Helium, Philly. Again, the 26th through the 29th. And then you're going to find us at OKC Comedy Club starting June 3rd through the 5th. Followed by Tommy T's Comedy Club in Pleasanton, California. And that is June 9th through the 12th. And then we have Father's Day off. You got Father's Day off? You took it off? Or did you do a side gig or anything?
I've had Father years off.
Father year off? Oh, so.
Father years, nigga.
And then, so we're skipping Father's Day. And then we're going to be in Tacoma, June 24th to the 26th. And then we'll find ourselves in Jacksonville. That's in Florida, man. We're back in Florida, Jacksonville Comedy Zone. And we're going to be there the 30th of June through July 3rd.
Okay. This is Ramon Averett. The song is called Boss Talk. Social account, Instagram at TU_RASKI. And YouTube is Tura the Artist. TURA the Artist. Okay. Boss Talk. Enjoy.
All right, Steve. Unfortunately, we forgot to do the breaks
We
again.
can do it right now, can't we?
Yeah, but do you want to record a break to stick in?
Yeah, we could just say the thing about, and it's just business.
Yeah, but do you already have one ready to go? Okay, so we're gonna record. We're gonna do the one right now, and if you can put that in after we talk about just like the current events of the comedy stuff, before we get to this, our father, and then we're somewhere in our father put in the next break because we thought we were gonna do the Magic Johnson doc. We didn't know we were gonna take up the whole time with the other one, so we would have messed it up anyway. Sorry, Steve.
And yeah, I'm Steve. I'm busy trying to send you this email, so I probably didn't listen to what Andy just told you. But yeah, when you put the commercial in, after somebody makes a point, just make sure you stick it in before the next point is made, so that way it's a smooth transition between the point being ended.
Yeah, he has
okay,
that.
all right.
He has that. He did the last one. He did the last
all
one.
right.
Last one came out good.
All right. So you ready?
Yeah. Okay. Aries, hold up, man. This isn't personal.
It's just been white folks. It's apparently that you guys are a dying breed. I forget the year that they say it's in, but at some point, white people are going to be the fucking minority. You're going to be finished. So I have a new pill specifically for white folks called Irresponsibility by Niggas. It's a pill that you take, and all of a sudden you get melon nigga hormones in you, and you just start fucking like rabbits. You just fuck and fuck all day long as though you're on welfare, you have no job, and you sit at home all day being lazy. Take the pill called Irresponsibility. and white people, you start fucking each other in droves like wild gorillas, and your population will grow. You will come back, and you won't be extinct. Once again, it's the Paul Mooney pill called irresponsibility, made and designed for nigger behavior. Trust me, white people, you take this pill, and you'll be coming everywhere. The goddamn lamp will get pregnant. The goddamn TV, the refrigerator, everything will get pregnant. You'll have babies with dogs and animals because I know white people, you're into bestiality.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, it was hosted by Aries Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Klein-Schmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit SpearsburgPod.com.